It's not work-life balance. That's a false narrative. It's work-life success. Okay? It's a very different concept. So work-life success works like this. You recognize that in order for you to be successful overall, you have to be successful professionally, you have to be successful spiritually, you have to be successful at home, right? None of those are ever going to balance. There are going to be times in your life where you are heads down, doing nothing but focusing on the business, right? There's just no room for anything else. But then there are going to be other times when you're going to focus on the family. You're going to have to make the time. You're going to have to take time away from the business to focus on whatever might be happening at the family. And you've also got to make time spiritually so that you take care of your body, you take care of your mind, you take care of your spirit. We learned that the way to do that was to give people as much flexibility as we could. You're different than I am, Lane. You're different than I am. The way you work, your wants, needs, and desires, they're all different. So in 2008, we came up with this concept called the results-only workplace. And the idea behind it was, we don't care when you work, we don't care from where you work, as long as you provide the best customer sat scores you can and the best financial stewardship you can, go, be successful. Be the CEO of you. And it transformed our company. Because people realized then that they could achieve work-life success. That's possible. Work-life balance, it's not a thing.
In the legal world, it's all about billable hours. So how in your world, is it billable hours or is it billable project? Like how does that work? Because if it's results only results, and hey, whether you work 1 hour or 100 hours, I don't care as long as you get the thing done. Like how does that translate? Like how do I get paid, or how do you bill for that?
Yeah. Well, Ryan, the great thing about our business back then and even today is that the vast majority of what we do is success-based. Okay? So, when you go to a client, do they really want to buy hours? No. They want to buy a result. They've got a problem. They want a solution. They want you to fix it. We learned a long time ago that it's much more appropriate and effective to tie your fees to the results you achieve, not how much time you put in them. And that was one of the big factors early on, because it was born out of necessity, right? When we left public accounting, nobody knew who we were. Nobody understood our value proposition. So we kind of pivoted to say, don't pay us. If we can't save you money, don't pay us. And that was really the start of the business. The beautiful thing about it today is we can measure everything. We know for every partner, every associate, every team member, we know what their client sat scores are across the board. We also know what their financial stewardship is. So we can measure all of this. Now, another thing that we learned, and this again was born out of disagreements that I had with my first partner, because when we started, the deal was he was 75%, because he was the gray-haired guy that had credibility in the marketplace. I was 27, and I was doing all the work. So the deal was he's 75, I'm 25. And by the end of the second year, guess what had happened? He's on the golf course. I'm hustling. It flipped. So all of a sudden, I'm 75 and he's 25. So after the split, I realized that I can't really figure out, what each individual's contribution is going to be. I don't know. Maybe they're going to be a rock star and they're going to just take off, or maybe they're not. The firm's value proposition is success-based, but so are our team members. So if they're on a team and they save a client money, the client pays us a portion of that in value share. And you know what we do? We turn around and pay a portion of that in value share to them. So they're highly motivated. It doesn't matter where they're working from. They could work, if Elon Musk can get them to the moon, they could work on the moon. It doesn't matter. They're motivated. They want to help our clients save money, and they want to participate in that value share. So I don't have to police them. I still chuckle. Frankly, I hear these companies and their CEOs, everybody going back to work. We're going to go back to work 5 days a week or 4 days a week. We just chuckle. I mean, the reality is we've been remote since 2008. When the pandemic came, it was one of the biggest booms for us ever, because we were getting calls from clients saying, oh my goodness, our offices are shut down. We don't have the capacity to do the work. Can you take the work? Well, we'd had VPN access for all of our team all around the world since 2008. We hadn't bought a tower computer since 2008. We just pivoted. And much of that business that flowed to us in the early days of the pandemic never went back. The companies never took it back.